Have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions in life without any sense of purpose or direction? Do you find yourself constantly asking, what am I meant to do with my life? Well, you're not alone. Many people struggle with discovering their true calling in life. The good news is that you can always begin your journey of self-discovery at any time. We all have this inner potential in us. Every one of us, buried deep within. But most of us don't get to unleash our true potential because we don't know it's there or we don't know how to. To find your true calling, you must first step back and assess your current circumstances. Do you enjoy your job or your chosen career path? Does it make you happy? If not, begin looking into alternatives that fit your interests and passions. It's crucial to set aside time for introspection. Your values, beliefs, and desires can be discovered through meditation, journaling, and conversations with close friends or family members. Doing things that make you happy and fulfilled is another way to find your true calling. You can develop your innate talents and skills through hobbies, side projects, and even volunteer work. You can meet other people who share your interests by going to workshops or events related to them. You can also learn new perspectives on the things you're passionate about. When exploring new career paths or opportunities, be open to taking risks and try new things. Don't be afraid to apply for that job or start your own business. You never know where your true calling may lead you. Developing your intuition is another way to begin figuring out what your true calling is. Spend some time tuning out the outside noise and listening to your inner voice. What thrills you? What gives you a sense of life? You can learn new things and develop new perspectives on the things you're genuinely passionate about by reading books about your interests or passions. Mentors can also be a valuable resource in discovering your true calling. Seek out people who are successful in fields that interest you and ask for advice and guidance. You can discover your individual talents and passions by engaging in creative activities like writing, music, or art. By introducing you to different cultures and lifestyles, traveling can also aid in the discovery of your true calling. On your journey to unleashing your inner potential and becoming the true giant you want to be, there are some major obstacles you should beware of. The first obstacle we face in discovering ourselves in life is called the social mirror. And what do I mean by the social mirror? Well, it is how we use other people's opinions to assess ourselves. Why, though? Why do we always do this? Because it's much easier to listen to what other people say about us or to observe how they react to us than it is to investigate the deeper layers of our own mind and develop an independent idea of who we are. It can also be of great value to learn how other people see us because we are sometimes blind to certain aspects of ourselves. If you've never thought of yourself as a creative person, but all of your colleagues keep telling you how unique and original your approach to solving problems is, maybe you are actually more creative than you think. Most likely. So thinking that we shouldn't give a damn about how other people perceive us might sound cool, but it's not. What we really shouldn't do, however, is let ourselves be limited by that. But that's exactly where the problem is. We usually do completely define ourselves by that. If we really want to get to know ourselves, we must become better at detaching from what we think other people think about us. Not because their views don't matter, but because our focus on them can quickly dry out our own inner voice, which we so desperately need to learn to listen to in order to really understand the full complexity of who we are. And of who we are not. The next major obstacle in discovering oneself is distraction. We distract ourselves so we don't have to deal with shit. We distract ourselves so we don't have to be alone with our own minds. Being alone with our own minds freaks us out. That's why meditation is so hard for most people most of the time. We use social media, Netflix, online shopping, sports, games, books, music, food, sex, drugs, or alcohol to teleport our minds into a world that's free of challenges, free of problems, and free of discomfort. And our environments make it very easy for us to do just that. Just think about all of the different options you are constantly being presented with to distract yourself. You can easily escape reality and dive into a fantasy novel or listen to rappers talk about money, weed, and bitches. You can always go to the kitchen and make yourself another sandwich, even if you aren't hungry. Or you can just have a beer or a glass of wine to make yourself more comfortable and to make everything around you just a little bit easier to bear. Now, there's nothing wrong with distraction per se. We can't be focused all the time. We all need some sort of diversion. Learning to become aware of our distractions, to choose them wisely, and to resist them when necessary is one of the major challenges towards more self-awareness. Lack of self-honesty is another major obstacle in discovering one's true self. You know what feels shitty? Admitting to yourself how much you suck. But seriously, we all suck. You suck, I suck, everyone you know somehow sucks. But here's the cool thing, that's okay. Not only is it okay, it's beautiful. Because our imperfections and our weaknesses make us human. They make this journey of life that we are all part of so much more interesting. And yet, still, we don't like to see it that way. Exploring our own weaknesses often creates a lot of discomfort. So we avoid it and rather come up with lies about ourselves that make us feel better in the moment. We selectively pay attention to things that confirm our pre-existing beliefs. We distract ourselves with emotions that feel good from emotions that feel not so good that we quickly pointed the finger at our partner and how shitty they were to us. For example, I have a tendency to feed my own ego through feelings of something like intellectual superiority. And this can lead to me shutting down other people's differing opinions with overly aggressive arguments and judgments. Do you think admitting this to myself was easy? Not at all. It took me a long time, during which I continuously explained away instances that should have made this fact obvious to me all this while. But now that I am aware of this tendency, I suck a bit less. And the conversations and controversial discussions I have with people have improved a lot. This doesn't mean that this weakness of mine is gone. It simply means that I got better at handling it and not letting it run amok. And that's what it's all about. Being honest to yourself can be very hard. But identifying them, accepting your weakness would make you live your truth. Take, for example, one of the world's richest men, Elon Musk, who has been open about his difficult childhood. Musk was not only the youngest and smallest child in his grade school class in Pretoria, South Africa, but he was also nerdier and more interested in books than many of his classmates. Musk said gangs of boys would sometimes hunt him down, calling him all sorts of names, going so far as to push him down a flight of stairs in one instance and send him to the hospital. "I was almost beaten to death," he added. The bullying continued until he was 15 years old, when he went through a growth spurt and learned how to defend himself by doing karate, judo, and wrestling. By 16, he said he was dishing it out as hard as they'd give it to me. He didn't let what others' opinions, thoughts of him, or how they saw him get to him, because he had discovered himself from a very tender age and already knew his goals, what he wanted to achieve in life. And that's what self-discovery is all about, understanding your true self, your values, your needs, your wants, even what food you like and dislike. You might have naturally learned some of these things about yourself over time. Yet for a lot of people, we have a way of losing touch with our values and hiding our own motivations and preferences, even from ourselves. Going deeper into self-discovery can transform your life. Self-discovery might sound like a big, intimidating concept, but it's really just a process of examining your life, figuring out what's missing, taking steps toward fulfillment. There's no better time for self-exploration than the present, so here are some tips to get you started. Start by visualizing your ideal self. Maybe your life has gone pretty smoothly according to the guidelines that your parents, teachers, friends, and others have recommended. If that's the case, you might not have given your true self much thought. You don't need to begin with a complete picture. After all, your journey is all about discovering what the full picture is. But try asking yourself things like, what do I want from life? Where do I see myself in 5 to 10 years? What do I regret? What makes me proud of myself? The answers to these questions can give you a place. If you get stuck, it can help to think back to a time when you felt fulfilled and happy and consider what contributed. Next is to explore your passions. Passions give life meaning and purpose and enrich and enhance it. Maybe a passion for helping others guided you to the field of medicine, but your current position in medical billing doesn't quite fulfill your urge to provide compassionate care. Finding the job you really want and learning the steps required for a career change could be part of living out your passion. Or maybe it's exploring ways to volunteer with your skills as a street medic. Remember that interests outside of the workplace don't always have to be complicated or related to careers. Think about the daily activities you engage in when you have free time. What makes you happy and makes you excited? Even interests like movies and music can offer insight. Taking some time to consider what you enjoy and look forward to most can help you discover ways to enrich your life. Also, try new things. Perhaps you lack many passions to list. That's all right. You might not remember what you used to enjoy if you haven't taken care of yourself much in a while. What would be a good way to start figuring this out? Try something brand new and completely unique. You won't know what you enjoy until you give it a shot, right? Maybe you've always been interested in the arts, but after taking a ceramics class in college, you never tried anything. For classes in adult education that are free or inexpensive, check your local library or other community centers. If attending a class in person isn't an option, consider online tutorials. Although they might not be exactly the same, they can frequently teach you enough to determine whether you want to keep up the hobby. Furthermore, you identify what you value about yourself. Your personal values, or the specific qualities you view as most important and meaningful, can tell you a lot about your nature. These values can help illustrate the life you want to live as well as the behavior you expect from others. Values might include honesty, compassion, loyalty, creativity, courage, intelligence. Clarifying these values can help you make sure you're living them out. If you've never taken the time to explore what principles you find most valuable, making this part of your self-discovery process can have a lot of benefits. Lastly, ask yourself questions. When you want answers, start with a few questions. Why do I do the things I do? What drives me? What am I missing? What kind of impact do my choices have on the life I want? Then, apply these questions to all areas of your life. The bottom line is that the process of self-discovery looks different for everyone, but it's generally not something that happens overnight. You do have somewhat of a jump start since you already know at least a little bit about yourself. But it still takes time and patience, just like getting to know someone else. You're in charge of the journey, but don't feel afraid to meander off the main path. The more ground you cover through self-exploration, the more you'll discover about yourself. Thanks for watching our content. If you enjoyed this video, please do us a quick favor and hit the like button, that way you will never miss out on our latest videos.